Hey gamers, Foxfire's here, and while there are major changes coming to ArcheAge, there is so much to cover that I'm going to break it down into several videos. In this video, I'm going to cover Trion's announcement that they've just made that 5.0 is coming to NA and EU. I'm going to focus on the aspects that Trion has confirmed so far, so I'll be highlighting the Hiram gear system with a new tier that can be awoken in 5.0, a major increase to the level cap, a new skill set, and of course, details that we know about some layoffs and resignations that have really hit the ArcheAge team pretty hard. Things have taken a massive left turn for the ArcheAge team when Trion Worlds began laying people off. And even more members of the team have since quit, including team members we've come to see as the very face of ArcheAge itself. Muzzy, the community manager for the past year, is, quote, off to pursue one of his other passions. Quilladon may be my personal favorite, the shy guy who hated going in front of a camera for live streams, but he did it for us anyway to explain major patch changes. He was the theory crafter who always explored the different class skill changes, the lore guy who painted the backstory of ArcheAge for us, and formerly known as the localization writer and editor. He's no longer with Trion. And perhaps most notably, ArcheAge's associate producer, Serafina Brennan, who you may know as Skeletoaster, the community manager before Muzzy. She's reportedly been laid off, according to an article by Massively Overpowered. In the article, Trion World CEO Scott Hartzman states they've laid off 15 employees across the company. The ArcheAge community discussion coming out of this is that this is a trimming process that's natural given Trion's recent acquisitions, but the ArcheAge team may have been the hardest hit because the game is struggling, or maybe because of potential upcoming expectations for contract end or renegotiation with XL Games over the title. Whatever the closed-door meetings, the fallout is definitely drawing attention. So what's the future of ArcheAge? Are we left with just ashes, or is there a phoenix rising? That brings us to patch 5.0 Relics of Hiram, just announced for NA and EU. The first thing to note here is that this information is coming from several sources, including what's coming out of Korea. So bear in mind, not everything in the Korean version may make its way over to our version or make it exactly as it is over there. We'll know more in the coming weeks when Trion does some live streams. One is planned for September 14th, or they might release some more information aside from that. First, I'll cover the main points that Trion has released so far. One of the main focuses of this patch is similar to the last patch in that there is a new tier of Hiram gear to awaken. There will also be a new zone to farm for Hiram, the Western Hiram Mountains, which is reported to have no housing, in case you were wondering. If you missed recent patches, Hiram gear is obtained by farming mobs, a parallel system to craft the gear like the Delphined Ioned Aeronor line. The tiering up of this gear is called Awakening, and it works with mechanics similar to Black Desert Online, so you have things like what you might call fail stacks, so that if the awakening fails, you get an increased chance to awaken the item on the next try. Up to this point, the game was largely, if not arguably entirely, goal-driven to get gear, whereas Hiram offers this parallel path by allowing players to grind mobs instead of grind for gold. In theory, Hiram gear was a way to narrow the critical gear gap between new or returning players compared to veterans. In practice, the drop rate's low, so it's gonna take a lot of grinding. Also, in practice, there are pay-to-win items available from the cash shop for Hiram gear. Is Hiram gear actually closing the gear gap? The Hiram gearing process is ongoing, so maybe it's too soon to call. And as I mentioned, patch 5.0 is releasing this new tier of Hiram gear. For details on the existing Hiram gear, I'll refer you to Arid and Niver's videos on it, which are linked in the description down below. Gear is just one of several changes coming in 5.0. Another huge change is that the level cap is being increased from Ancestral level 7 to level 34. Only the first of these will supposedly require an Honor Forged medal. It's the XP required to reach the cap that's notable. On the order of like 150 million XP, as I recall from one of Niver's Twitch streams. The new patch also introduces a brand new skill set called Malediction. This is a pretty big deal because there hasn't been any new skill set added since the game launched. Malediction allows players to use dark magic to exploit enemies' weaknesses while empowering themselves. We'll see more of this in the coming weeks, but from the description, I kind of imagine occultism with dark songcraft. And of course, because a class is made up of any combination of 3 skill sets, the addition of Malediction brings 45 new class combinations. And on the note of classes, historically there has been a big balancing issue, with certain classes being substantially stronger than others. This has broadened out a bit with efforts at class balancing, and the Korean top PvP ranks are a bit more diverse, so time will tell, but maybe this is another step in the right direction for XL Games and ArcheAge. Wow, it has been a crazy ride, gamers, and there is so much more to cover. So stay tuned for more upcoming videos on 5.0. As part of the Trion Creators Program, I have codes for some Veroe weapon skins to give away. For a chance to win one, leave me a hashtag for Hiram. See what I did there? I'm such a nerd. Again, that's hashtag for Hiram. As you can imagine, I am into all things geek, gaming, science, and sci-fi, you name it. And it's really great having a community of people to chat with about it. So if you are also into sci-fi and fantasy novels, and you're looking to share your thoughts and you're interested on my take on some of the novels or other people's take on it, be sure to check out my book club video series. I will link the video about this month's book here when I get it uploaded. As always, thanks for watching, gamers. I'm Foxfires, and this has been an update on ArcheAge.
I will not speak in different accents.
I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter. I'm bitter, very bitter.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna have so much fun being a community manager on this game.